Hi, welcome to Spanish Fork 17 and our first pregame live high school football schedule, Sam. Can you believe it?
No, it's exciting. We're about 30 minutes away from kickoff, and Spanish Fork 17 has really ponied up right now, and we have two live shows, two live games that we're going to be going to.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, Channel 16 and 17, right?
So if you're a Maple Mountain High School fan or you're a Spanish Fork High School fan, it's not either or, it's...
No, you get both now, and so we have that means we have two new crews. We have a whole group of announcers that are going to be up at Maple Mountain, and a group of announcers are going to be at the Spanish Fork game. Channel 17 is where you find the Spanish Fork game, and Channel 16 is the Maple Mountain game.
Something new this year.
Yeah, some really fun stuff. There's exciting things going on, and we're about 29 minutes now from kickoff.
And we've had an opportunity to talk to some of the coaches and the players. I mean, you can just feel it. There's just no question. Baseball's nice, basketball's nice, but it's football season.
It is football season, and there's something special about Friday. And, you know, it's still a little bit warm, but you can start to feel it. You can start to smell. Football is definitely in the air.
You drive by, you can see the guys out practicing. You see the little kid, the youth leagues are going and stuff, and it's exciting. So let's talk about that just for a minute. So we know Channel 17 was going to be broadcasting live tonight, Spanish Fork's game, and something new, Channel 16 can be found watching Maple Mountain.
Yeah. So the other thing that you can also do, Ken, you can actually go to the YouTube channel. YouTube.com/Spanish Fork 17. You can also go to sfcn.org, and there's going to be two little bubbles there. It's really intuitive. You can just go and click on one of them, whichever game or whichever team you root for here in this great town of Spanish Fork. You can go and watch their games live. And you can also, again, if you're watching Channel 17, you're going to get the Spanish Fork game. If you're watching Channel 16, you're going to get the Maple Mountain game.
That's amazing. And we're told that it's even possible to watch both at the same time if you're really good on your computer. So you can be watching both games live.
I will testify. It's really good stuff. Last year, they kind of started this thing, and I actually watched one of the games from France. And so it's awesome. You can go to YouTube and watch these games live. Great quality. The camera work is phenomenal. The announcers are great. So it's going to be a really fun season.
It's fun. And the exciting thing, we're about 25 minutes away now from kickoff. So we'll take a quick break. And when we come back, we want to talk a little bit about Maple Mountain and kind of get our Maple Mountain fans ready to go for the kickoff. Tonight, they'll be kicking off at home against Woods Cross. So
exciting
a lot of things to talk about. We'll be right back after this break. And welcome back to our live pregame show, Spanish Fork and Maple Mountain. We're 25 minutes, less than 25 minutes in counting from kickoff. And we had an opportunity, which I think was really kind of cool, to go talk to some of the players and coaches this week. In fact, let's take a quick look. Mitch Marshall got a minute with Coach Burnshaw at practice and kind of gave us his feelings about tonight's kickoff.
Yeah.
All right, Coach, guys are obviously stoked. Season's getting started, first game tomorrow night, and it's a rematch of a big one. What's changed for you guys from the season finale last year that's going to make tomorrow night a different story?
You know, I think both teams have a lot of different guys, and so you can never really tell from year to year what you're going to have. But I really like how much work our teams put into it, and I feel like we're stronger and faster than we've ever been. So, you know, that's what we're hoping will change the story.
So you're only returning a handful of starters, but you're really optimistic about the season. What are we going to look out for that's going to push you over that hump and get you past the first round of the playoffs, which has been pretty unsuccessful so far?
You know, that's a hard question to define. There's a lot of football to play before, you know, playoff time. But I'm hoping just consistency, you know, guys that'll step in each week, play hard every time, you know, look to our leaders, our seniors for some leadership, and eventually work our way into that mix of the playoffs and then get over the hump then.
So with only a handful of guys coming back, like you said, it's a long time, but you're going to wait for some guys to step up. Are there any names that we should be looking out for of guys who are really going to step up this season, who've looked good in the preseason?
Yeah, I mean, it's always different in the summer than it's going to be in the season, but, you know, guys like Jarrin Hall that have been starting before, Jordan Larson, Nolan Oof, those are guys that have all been around for a couple of years, and, you know, we look to them for the leadership and to help the other guys, help bring the other guys up around them.
Any freshmen that are going to play varsity or sophomores that you expect to start and have a big impact?
No, not a lot of young guys. We have a ton of kids playing football right now, so even just the juniors and the seniors this year, we have about 70 kids. So sophomores and freshmen, I don't think we really have anybody right now, but we do have some good kids coming up.
So with they did some region realignment that didn't have a huge effect on this region. Do you see that changing the face of 4A? Do you think that this region is a little bit for the taking?
Yeah, we'd like to think so. I mean, we always want to be in the mix and have a chance to compete for that region title. 4A is a little bit different this year with some of the things they've done, but the bottom line is we just have to take care of business. There's all sorts of stuff that's going to go on this season, but we just need to play our game. So.
Is there anything that you're most excited about? I mean, the season comes around, you can almost feel it in the air. I mean, all the college players are starting, the pros are starting, and you really get to get back into coaching mode. Is there anything that you're most excited about this year?
The thing that always makes me excited is just seeing young people succeed. Guys that have really dedicated themselves, put a lot of work into it, and then to see them have success. That's what drives us. So.
We know Jarrin's looking at going to BYU. Are there any other guys who are looking at D1 scholarships or who are actively being recruited?
Yeah, right now Nolan Oof is getting a lot of looks. We have some other guys, not probably as popular right now, but I think they'll make some big impacts during the season.
All right, well, thanks for your time, Coach.
Oh, you're welcome.
You really can't help but be really impressed with Coach Burtonshaw and the things that he's doing at Maple Mountain.
You gotta root for that guy.
Great guy. Every time I hear him talk, I'm more impressed. He's the only coach I've ever known at Maple Mountain, and he's starting his 7th season already. So.
Yeah, and Coach Burtonshaw, there's a lot of great and exciting things coming up. But we also had an opportunity to talk with 4-year quarterback Jarrin Hall, a highly touted recruit and somebody that's really bringing some exciting things up to Maple Mountain. Let's take a look at this interview.
Everybody's really excited about you, Jarrin. How stoked are you for the season?
I'm pretty stoked. We have a great team this year, a lot of new guys. They're finally getting into the groove of things throughout summer and fall camp. We have a lot of talent on our defense as well. We got a lot of returning guys who know what they're doing, a lot of senior leadership, and I'm excited.
So who are you most excited about playing with on offense? Who's going to get you into the end zone?
Really, all 4 of our receivers, James Wilson, Austin Edwards, Harrison Casper, Cameron AC, Dawson Bueller. I mean, there's countless number of guys we have, and I mean, we're pretty loaded when it comes to depth.
You trust them all? You feel like that rapport has come through the preseason, that you know you can get the ball in their hands in timing?
Absolutely, absolutely. Practice, I mean, they've given me no reason not to trust them so far, so we'll see how they do when game time comes.
How about your offensive line? Who's looking really strong up there? Who's going to keep you safe?
Again, all 5 of our guys. We have 5 seniors. Corbin Tibbles, the left guard, our left tackle, Chris Hare, our center, Nolan Oof, who's a 2-year starter, Hunter Cooper, and then our junior at right tackle, Harrison. Alvey, I believe is his last name. I couldn't tell you, but I mean, they've all been pushing through summer workouts and whatnot, and I'm impressed.
So what were summer workouts like this year compared to last year? How'd you guys get stronger?
We really snapped down on people showing up, not making it as big as an option as we made it last year for kids. I mean, we told them they need to get out here if you expect to play, and I believe it worked. We had a lot of kids show up.
So I noticed that you give your guys a lot of credit. You know all of their names. You know who's strong. What else sets you apart as a leader? What makes you the man in this team?
I think just the experience. This is my 4th year starting since my freshman year. I mean, I feel like I can get out there and lead them when it comes to it. I mean, game time's a lot different than practice. I'm sure they'll be a little nervous before the games, as I am always, but just having that experience, I'm sure I'll be able to get them through it.
Any pregame rituals you do to calm the nerves, just get yourself hyped?
No, just go home, relax, take a nap before the game, hop in the shower, and get going.
Shower before the game. That's
there you go. Cold shower.
Cold shower. All right. Who's exciting on defense? I know you swapped out a lot of secondary players. You don't have a lot of returning starters, but not a lot of young guys playing either. Who's going to come through big on defense?
Our middle linebackers, Jared Boyer, Jordan Larson, our outside linebacker, Corey Rockovitz. We got a new transfer this year. His name is Brad King. He'll be a big key for us. Nolan Oof, our center, also D-tackle. I mean, he'll be a big surge for us in the middle, and there's countless number of guys, again, who I think will step up when it comes to it.
All right, prediction time. How do you see a little bit different region, but everyone says it's wide open. Where are you guys going to end up record-wise? Are you going to get past that hump and get past the first round of the playoffs?
I hope so. I mean, that's our goal. We ride it up every year. We haven't been there yet. We've gotten to the first round, but the last couple of years have been beat out. So hopefully we can get past there.
Hey, a great player Jarrin Hall is, and it sounds like their offense is going to be really tough yet again. What a great team leader he is.
It looks like to me he's found a way to get into the weight room too.
Yes,
Did you see him?
has.
Holy man, he looked a little bit like my co-host here. That's impressive, yeah. And we also had an opportunity to talk to a guy that's going both ways, a senior, a captain for Maple Mountain, Nolan Oof, big guy being recruited actively, and I thought he had some interesting things to say about this upcoming season. Let's take a look at that clip.
So Noel, you're playing both ways. You're a returning starter both ways, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, basically just returning both ways and senior captain this year.
Senior captain. You sound like you're proud of that.
Oh, I'm proud of it. This is a great team, a great program. I love being here.
All right. So let's talk about the defensive side a little bit. What's going to make the difference this year compared to last year? It's going to make you guys a little bit more hard-nosed and keep points off the board.
Yeah, just last year we had a good secondary, but there's no problem with the guys in right now. The last year's we just lost our 4 safeties, but our middle looks strong this year, and the secondary's they're learning and getting our new defense. So yeah, we'll be fine.
Coaches say you have plenty of speed on the defense. Who's the quickest guy out there who's going to stop that #1 receiver for the other team?
You know, we have a lot. We have a couple juniors, Peyton Pond, Dawson Butler, and then our safeties, John Elmore and Carter Shaw. So they'll make it happen.
You guys stronger this year? I've been hearing a lot about the weight room and how much harder it got hit that offseason. Can you tell me why exactly that is?
You know, after that last game against Woods Cross, there was a different feeling in that weight room. Kids came that next day and just wanted to get better. They were sick of losing, so yeah, it's just been improving lately.
All right, I asked one of your coaches this. I'm not going to tell you what they said, but I want to know, who do you think is the toughest guy on the team?
That's a good question. I don't know who. Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
You've got a name in mind, and you can say yourself if you want.
Nah, that's not me. I don't know. Jordan and Jarrin, they work very hard.
What else are you most excited about? Obviously, I'm sure you're excited just to play because it's been off-season. It's time to get back under the lights. But what excites you the most about this season?
Just this year's different. We're a brotherhood, and last year's we haven't been, and we're actually a bunch of great friends. We all hang out, and that's the difference that separates us from the past years. Individuals to best friends.
Hey, you've heard it from Noel. Now Jarrin, Noel, and Coach Burton Shaw. They all have great things to say about their team. I guess that's what you would expect, but some exciting things going to happen at Maple Mountain this year.
Well, I mean, everybody's undefeated at this point. Everybody's going for 10-0, 12-0. Big game tonight. We're half an hour, 15 minutes away from kickoff, it looks to me like. One thing I think is interesting, Sam, real quick, is Maple Mountain and Woods Cross, their opponent tonight, in a calendar year, that's the 3rd time these two teams have played. That's a little bit unusual in high school football.
Yeah, and you know, Maple Mountain got knocked off the first 2 times to open up the season last year and to close the season last year, but you know what they say, it's tough to beat a team 3 times. So we'll see what Maple Mountain's going to be able to do here in about 15 minutes.
I'm predicting a win for Maple Mountain. How about you?
Too. I'm going to predict a win for Maple Mountain.
All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we are talking Spanish Fork football, something near and dear to our heart.
Yeah.
So when we come back, we'll be right back with Spanish Fork football.
Hey, welcome back to the pregame live show, the first ever that we've done here on SFCN 17. And you know, we've talked about Maple Mountain and the excitement that they have going on up there. They got a game here in 10 minutes against Woods Cross. Spanish Fork football tonight over at Mountain View. That game's going to be live right here on Spanish Fork 17. We had a chance to sit down and talk to many of those coaches this week. Why don't you take us through some of those interviews, Ken?
Well, yeah, there's some big changes at Spanish Fork, and none bigger than the head guy. We have a brand new head coach, Jordan Smith, the next Spanish Fork High School star football player.
Young and excited.
Young and excited. His first game, and it was kind of fun to see his emotion and so many things going through his head. He told me he hasn't slept in a couple of weeks, and I think he's probably telling the truth there. And so we're real excited. But I did get a chance last night to sit down with Coach Smith and talk to him for a few minutes about tonight's big kickoff. Coach, thanks for taking a couple minutes with us. I know you're just finishing up the last practice before your first game.
Yeah, it was good. We always get down here on Thursday nights, the night before game, and have a good walk through, just kind of sharpen up mentally, you know, before we go into tomorrow. So. Yeah,
well, I'm sure since the day you were named the head coach till we get to this point, it's been kind of a long, tedious. What's the wait been like for you?
You know, I've been really anxious. You know, as a head coach, you go through so many things you don't even think of, right? Just behind-the-scenes management of camps, the youth programs, all that stuff. And so it's good to finally get into game week where you're really thinking about football and football only. So it's long awaited, but it's finally here and we're excited. So.
Well, I was just wondering, so we're like 24 hours from now, you're going to be right in the heat of battle. So tonight, how are you going to sleep? You going to sleep like a baby? Is this going to be a long night? What are you anticipating for your night's sleep?
Yeah, probably not sleeping at all, you know, and that's kind of how it's been the last few weeks. But just staying up late, watching some more film, just last-minute preparations going in tomorrow. That's just me. I just get nervous and, you know.
Well, I mean, your first game as a head coach, I mean, this is a big deal. It's almost like Christmas Eve in a way, or is this kind of like the first night of school when you're kind of nervous?
Yeah, a little giddy, a little nervous, because you don't know what to expect, you know, especially as a first-year high school coach. And so I'm just really excited for the opportunity. I'm just going to go out and give it, you know, coach my butt off. And, you know, I think we got our guys prepared, ready to go. and I'm confident. We're ready to go. So
I think that's awesome. And so it's been kind of a long grind with two-a-days, and it's been hot, weightlifting and stuff. And I know you've had contact. You had the red-gray game. We got to watch that, and there was some contact there. How do you feel like you've got through the preseason, ready for the kickoff for tomorrow, health-wise, as far as your team? Any significant injuries to worry about?
Yeah, right now, no significant injuries. Just a few pulled hamstrings, a little sore, banged up a little bit. But I think we've done a good job as a coaching staff to kind of plan for this. And our practices, we got a lot of contact, but we were able to manage it a lot and kind of do it sparingly, so that we were able to keep guys healthy. So that's our most important thing. Just get guys healthy, get guys into the season, and just try to go through it and manage it the best we can. So I think coming out of fall camp, we did a great job of doing that. And like I said, no injuries right now that are huge, just little, bangs here and there. So
interesting. Okay, so let's put Coach Jordan Smith's offense in a nutshell, maybe 5 or 10 words. How would you characterize your offense? What are people going to expect? They're going to show up at Mountain View High School tomorrow night to watch the game. What are we going to see in the Jordan Smith offense?
Physicality, big time. It starts with the line and with low-foot running back. We just want to pound the ball and then have that open up our passing game. So we're going to be very balanced, very explosive, and very physical.
So establish the run is kind of, without giving away too much, and then everybody's moving up, and then we're going to go over the top.
Yep. The run is what's going to be key. Spanish Fork, historically, we're always a throwing, passing team, but we got to establish a run for that to be able to come to fruition. So
good. Okay, let's talk a little bit about defense. It looks like we got a lot of players out, a lot of depth, a lot of big guys here. What do you expect to see out of your defense tomorrow?
Defense, we've thrown a lot of stuff at them within the last few weeks, but man, that's a capable group, really smart group. But I think we're going to be flying around. We've emphasized flying around the football, being physical again, and just making plays. So that's my expectation for tomorrow night.
Physical, and more physical.
Yep.
That's awesome. Okay, let's talk really briefly about some new faces maybe on your coaching staff. Obviously, you're the number one new face, but how about some new guys that came with you to Spanish Fork High School?
So Zach Fox, a guy, good buddies, played with him here 2007. He's our receivers coach. Good guy, smart football coach. Jason Meeks, our running back coach. Again, a guy who played with me, loyal guy, just knows football. Zach Stout, who just graduated from BYU last year, is middle backer. He's our inside linebackers coach. Other than that, Josh Jensen, he's manning our O-line and D-line. A guy from Timpview, actually. We stole him. We recruited him from Timpview.
Can't get too many Timpview guys. That's awesome.
It's good. So just a young, energetic coaching staff. Just loves the game and loves these kids.
Maybe just a couple of new faces that that you're excited to watch on offense and defense for tomorrow night's game.
Number 1, Nate Kiesel. He'll be number 11, right? But the guy that moved in from California, he's a face that nobody really will know. A name that sounds familiar because he was here in 9th grade. But he's back as a senior, just slinging it. Great quarterback for us. And another name to watch and look out for, we've talked about Lofa Funa, but his little brother Mace, a 9th grader, just an absolute stud. So we're hoping that, the moment's not too big for him tomorrow as a 9th grader, which we don't think it will, and he's just going to make plays and just be a stud.
Well, he's been around the program watching his brother. These guys are athletes. How about on defense? Is that some of the same names, or somebody else you expect on defense to stand out?
Yeah, so Mace is our starting outside linebacker, actually, and he's going to be a stud for us. I'd say Emo Apui. He's a senior that didn't play last year, sat it out because he had to transfer from Springville. But he's going to man, him and Devin Argyle, our secondary, man those safety spots down. But he's going to be a guy that, you got to keep your eye on and watch him make some plays.
It really was a lot of fun to sit down to talk with Coach Smith for a few minutes. I think you could tell he's nervous, and it's probably one of many interviews we're going to try and hold him down for Spanish Fork 17.
He brings a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of youthful energy to this team.
He brings a cool beard, too.
Yeah, he's got a great beard. He was a phenomenal athlete here at Spanish Fork High School, both a wide receiver and a DB. Speaking of a phenomenal athlete, speaking of that youthful energy, I had a chance to sit down or talk to last night with Nate Kiesel, the starting quarterback. Let's take a look at this interview. Nate, you've just been recently named the starting quarterback for the Spanish Fork Dons for the opener tomorrow night at Mountain View. Tell us a little bit about the team.
I think we're looking really good so far. Offensive side of the field, we're really strong at receiver. Our line's looking great. Running back's great. Defense is looking solid right now. So far, I think we'll be a pretty good team.
So what can the viewers expect from an offensive standpoint? We're going to pound the ball, we're going to throw the ball, we're going to mix it up pretty good. What are you expecting? What can we expect tonight?
I'm expecting to see a lot of both. I think it'll be mixed up pretty evenly, and I think we'll put out a good show.
Have you guys seen a lot of film on Mountain View, and do you have a pretty good feel for what you're going to see defensively?
Every day at lunch, me and the team have gone in. We've been studying them every day, and during weight training today we went in for an hour and just studied everything about them. So I think we'll know them quite well.
What kind of coverages are you seeing mostly? Are you seeing 1s, 2s, 3s, or is there a pretty good mix with these guys?
It's pretty even. There's a lot of man coverages. There's a lot of zone. They have it pretty even.
Okay, Nate, you're just coming back to Spanish Fork High School. You were here all the way up until your freshman season. Right before your freshman season, the family took a move and went down to Northern California, and you had a chance to play for Clayton Valley High School, which is just right in the San Francisco Bay Area. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
It was a great experience. Learned a lot out there. Had a great coach, had a lot of great teammates out there, and we had a great team too. I think it was a overall really great experience for me.
So you were the starter last year for that team in California, and I know a lot of our viewers are interested to know what kind of talent level you're seeing in California versus here in Utah. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
You definitely see a lot of both in California. There's a lot of talented kids out there, but there's also some teams that are just not as good. But for the most part, I think the talent in California is really high.
So you're pretty excited about the game tomorrow, obviously. You guys have been going through a lot throughout the summer and all of the workouts, all of the 7-on-7s, all those kinds of things. Is it finally nice to have a payday?
Yeah, we're all ready to go eat, and it's going to be a good time. I think we're all ready for it. We've been waiting for it for a while, and I think it's going to be a good game.
How do you feel about coming back to Spanish Fork and playing for the team that you started to play for when you were in 5th, 6th grade? Now you're getting an opportunity to play for us again.
I'm excited to be back. A lot of my best friends are here. I grew up with a lot of them. Consider my whole team my brothers, and I'm excited to be back and play with them.
Last question, Jordan Smith, first-year coach. How are him and the staff making the transition to high school football?
You know, it's fun to hear Nate's story about coming from California, starting there last year and coming to Spanish Fork.
15 in one season, bring some experience.
Even if I say so myself, he's got some big shoes to fill at quarterback at Spanish Fork, and I think he's the guy to do it. He looks like he's ready, he looked calm, and he looked like an athlete. He's ready to go.
I'm excited to see what he can do tonight.
Speaking of athletes, we got a guy that's going to be an absolute animal, I think, for Spanish Fork, running back, defensive end, Salofa Funa.
Prospect.
Yeah, and he looks like he's found his way to the weight room too. Let's take a look.
Tell us a little bit about what your expectations are for the game tomorrow night.
We expect not to take Mountain View lightly. That's our mindset going into every game. But this week we prepared a lot, and especially for Mountain View's. Mountain View, we all know that Mountain View has a good head coach. Started the program over at St. View, so we're looking for a great challenge tomorrow.
And where can the fans expect to see you play? What number are you going to wear, and what positions will we see you playing on tomorrow?
Tomorrow I'll be wearing number 47, and the positions I'll be playing on offensive side, I'll be playing running back, a little bit of slot receiver, and on defensive side I'll be playing outside linebacker. Mountain
View, you know, we don't know a whole lot about them, but we don't know a whole lot about you guys. Offensively, defensively, where do you think this team, what kind of identity do you think the Spanish Fork Dons will have throughout the course of the season? Offensive or defensive? What do you guys expect to see?
On both sides of the ball, we should see great things. I mean, the coaches prepared us very well over this offseason.
Hey, what a stud Lofa is. I mean, that guy with that little tank top thing he's got going on, he definitely looks like the commit that BYU was hoping for.
He couldn't find a shirt with sleeves on it, I'm sure. I don't blame him.
No. But an exciting kid, an exciting future. Spanish Fork looks tough. With a great quarterback and experience. They bring Lofa, who's going to play running back, and also on the defensive side. I think Spanish Fork is going to be just as good as what we heard from with Maple Mountain. We're going to find out, though, here in about
I'm predicting 2 wins.
3 minutes.
Maple Mountain, Spanish Fork going to come home wins.
I'm predicting 2 wins, too. Spanish Fork is going to have a really nice night.
So you're more nervous about doing the show or having your son his first start as a junior?
Definitely my son, his first
awesome.
start.
That's so fun.
Exciting times for him over there at Spanish Fork. So
we're really excited about this. Both games are going to be live on Spanish Fork 17 tonight. So please make sure you call your friends, your family, your home teachers, get them all, let them know the game's on. If they can't make it to either,
get your popcorn out.
Get the popcorn ready to go. If you can't make it to either game, watch Channel 16 and Channel 17 and
we're
watch
going
tonight's
to kick
game.
it over to them right now.
Okay, let's go to the stadium.
Live. So let's go over to both of the crews at Channel 17 for the Spanish Fork game and Channel 16 for the Maple Mountain game.